Welcome to the 8-Bit Cat Show, a place where friends geek out over the nerdy things we love, sometimes with cats. Bailey is here. Say hello, Bailey.
I was gonna say that's a great start.
You give her butt. I'm
Just
your
nice
host,
big
Stephanie
butt.
Katz. With us tonight, Zach,
Am I here? You can't see me.
Peter,
Alright.
and Tom.
I'm playing solitaire.
Are you really?
I'm so happy.
No.
Could you at least invite us to checkers? Come on.
Yeah, I mean I can. We can do it right now.
Do it
Hold on,
right
let me
now.
set that up.
I think we're good. I think we're good.
Yeah, so before we get into March Madness fun, we went and saw Ant-Man Quantumania. I
heard it sucked.
I really enjoyed it. I think of the post-Endgame MCU movies, it has been the best.
Great.
I mean, I love.
Great.
I haven't seen it, so
Discussion.
I'm just basing that was just
I'm
based
just
on what I heard.
I love Paul Rudd, and it is a fun popcorn movie. But I don't know if it necessarily. It's not like story-wise, it's not mind-blowing, and there are definitely parts that you're like, well, okay, this was literally all filmed on a blue stage. But at least some of the when the buildings they actually go to, all that stuff is practical. So they did as much practical as they can. They had some good practical creature effects and stuff like that too. But the only thing that was really jarring was every background that you could tell. And since it was the whole movie, they've gotten away with it in the past before with the quantum realm stuff because it wasn't there the whole time. They made quick trips and then came back. But being there the whole time and the entire sky, just okay, this just doesn't feel. I know it's supposed to feel unreal, but it doesn't feel like they're really there. It's an unreal area that they don't feel real in. And it's a little jarring, but overall, I like where they have to go from here might actually finally be interesting. They had to do a lot of setup to get to where they're going now, again, just like they did with Infinity Wars, but the individual movies were better with that. I think this now where they're trying to put the overarching story together is going to finally might end up being good. But it's been a very slow start, I'm going to say. I'm going to definitely agree with that.
Yeah.
Phase 4 here.
So who is a better MODOK? Corey Stoll or Patton Oswalt?
Patton Oswalt.
I enjoyed the Patton Oswalt a lot. I think he did a really good job of embodying the character. And I was really glad I didn't get spoiled that MODOK is in it until. And the reveal for it was great because they don't use the acronym the first 3 times they refer to him, and they slip it in there lightly enough that you can't tell that they're naming all of it at once. I'm like, oh wait a second, that he definitely he just labeled MODOK. Where the fuck is he showing up here? I'm like, all right, Darren Cross, way to go. That's an interesting version of MODOK.
Yeah.
It was something. His head was very creepy, and I didn't really like it.
I've had some spoilers thrown at me, but I haven't seen the movie. I probably won't. But does Ant-Man actually beat Kang the Conqueror in a fight?
Technically, but also not.
What do you mean?
They have a fight, and Scott gets his ass handed to him, 100%, and gets lucky and knocks him into some sort of weird vortex thing of some type. I can't remember exactly what it is, but he nullifies him out of the.
Well, that was because the Wasp came back through the portal and kicked him in the back.
Yeah, exactly. So he didn't even actually do it. He was just standing there waiting to be beaten to a death by Kang. Then gets lucky, and Kang disappears, but there ain't no way he's fucking dead. Or even defeated in any actual reasonable way.
He's sort of dead.
I just wanted to make sure with the context, because maybe don't have your new villain be beat up by the second weakest Avenger in this first major appearance.
Yeah, I'm thinking.
Yeah, but there's.
And then
There's
It
more
sounds
to
like they
it.
didn't have that actually happen, but that's what I'd been hearing. It's that can't be real.
no, it wasn't like Scott got him on the ground and was beaten. Well, he actually at one point he did, but he was ultra giant man at that point in time. So he went bigger than he's ever gone, but also smaller than he's ever been technically because he's already in a microverse.
Yeah.
So he's not that big.
But he
Yeah,
didn't get
Just kind of bigger.
Well, the point is, he didn't get shrunk this time. They got transported through a portal, and so they didn't actually have to shrink to get there. So all of it, he can still shrink when he's there and get bigger, but only like his normal stuff. It's weird. So yeah, it was very strange. It was a lot of convolution there.
So he can go smaller than Quantum?
Yeah, wasn't that kind of a whole big thing in the first two movies?
But that's what I'm saying is that's why that's how they got away with around that, so he could actually still use his powers in the quantum realm. Was that they were basically teleported there instead of shrinking down to get there. They were rifted through dimensions into the quantum realm instead of shrinking down to get down to the quantum realm.
So he can still get smaller?
Is the implication that the quantum realm is not... Because I always assumed it was just very small.
No, it's also it's technically it's like a separate dimension almost
that you travel to by shrinking a bunch.
But you shrink so small that you slip in between the realms and into the quantum.
Do you aggressively grow afterwards, or are you still shrunk?
So. I don't think.
Yeah, it's almost like they didn't think that part out.
Probably didn't. I don't know. That's what it didn't seem very well thought through. Like I said, they just had to figure out how to get him to still be able to shrink and grow and be Ant-Man, because that's kind of his only power.
But it was.
Thank God Hank Pym was there. No spoilers on that one, but just thank God Hank Pym was there.
It was pretty good. Did anybody else watch or do anything else? No?
I'm not caught up on The Last of Us still, so I can't really say anything on that.
That's okay. Neither are we. We still have to catch up to you. Thomas?
It was pretty good.
What?
I appreciate you not spoiling the shit out of those 2 episodes. Thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, I already kind of know what happens because I played the games, but yeah.
I'm sure they're pretty important episodes, yeah.
Yeah.
They're good episodes.
Okay, well, we'll move right along then to what I feel like will take up the bulk of...
Yeah, I thought this episode was only going to be about... I wasn't prepared for anything else.
I thought we watched Ant-Man, so we should talk about it a little bit.
Okay, but we weren't
Anyway,
really prepared for this either.
So,
Not wrong.
it's currently March Madness. So,
No, it's
I
not
asked...
yet.
Didn't the qualifiers just happen this last Sunday?
Yeah, they haven't finished. They haven't selected yet, but that's why we're doing it now, because we're getting our bracket in before the bracket.
Okay, well, everyone selected their people last week, and I've put them into a bracket. So,
Somebody's excited.
With no provided context for what was going on, just pick 4 heroes and 4 villains.
Yeah, let's make sure that this is clear.
Yes.
okay.
So the task that she gave us was pick 4 heroes and 4 villains, and that's it.
Yeah.
And so we all said, okay.
Well,
And now we're at massively varying degrees of power scale.
it's fine. It's
Yeah.
totally fine.
No, it's not.
It's really not, because it's not just that Tom has picked overpowered characters. It's that I have picked 2 characters who are really ill-defined in their power scaling.
Perfect.
No.
I literally just have a German dude with a knockoff watch. Okay, that's what
I have a Swedish dude who is in the Old West. He's not even Swedish.
He's fake Swedish. I don't even know what he is.
No, they call him the Swede all throughout the show, but he's not. He's Norwegian.
Yeah, no, all we got is I know everyone's not super into sports ball, but I thought we would do something for March Madness. Can everyone send me 4 hero type characters? Not even heroes. Hero type characters and 4 villain type characters. Tom, asking for context, of course, asks hero type characters any genre? And she goes, any genre. And
See,
that
but-
was what we got.
Tom was smart because he asked a qualifying question, and then you just sent me your shit.
Well, yeah, I want to
And
get my
then-
list in first so nobody can steal my shit.
And then
Yeah, because you said no repeats.
Well, I was like, thanks. I was like, yeah, try not to, like, no repeats, please. And then Tom waited until Zach got his list in, Peter got his list in, and Tom was kind of like, so is this gonna be kind of
Also,
like
we
a
didn't get to see her
versus?
list. This seems rude. We didn't even get to see
Oh,
her list.
we didn't get. You had a list.
I made it after y'all's made your list.
We
Oh,
had-
see?
we
So
had to get
she's
to-
like
we had to get to
super
64.
cheating.
We've been cheated.
We had to get to 32.
So
We didn't even get the proper context.
So then through chatting, they were like, oh, kind of figured out that this was gonna be like a versus type thing. and then Tom put his list in. You guys could
I'm pretty
I
sure we
don't
didn't.
know. I put it in, and then we started
No,
talking
no,
about
no,
it.
no. He put it in first, and then
Yeah.
we said,
Oh well, whatever.
Yeah, because it occurred to us that like, oh, he picked a lot of really powerful people.
yeah, no, yeah, because I'm like, oh, yeah, Tom picked some really strong dudes. He just picked all the tough guys.
Yeah.
Villains, and
Like, I don't know
actual
what you're
villain,
for. Give heroes.
and actual heroes.
They're heroes.
So here's how I did this. So we're gonna go down.
Did you seed these two? Oh, she didn't properly seed them. Come on, she's not a sports ball fan. Come on.
I don't know what that means.
You're supposed to put the weakest against the strongest generally, and then you bracket it around. Anyway,
No,
yeah.
so what I did
Given
was
I didn't know half my characters,
I
that'd be
took
hard to do
everybody's.
anyway.
Yeah, because I wasn't looking shit up. I took everybody's characters and I wrote them all on pieces of paper and I threw them in a bucket and I randomly picked them out.
Okay, that works.
So it's all gonna be all heroes and then all villains.
So,
Oh,
we're
okay,
basically
so-
going to pit the
Heroes
ultimate
go
hero
against
versus
the
the ultimate villain.
Yes.
Tom wins.
Alright, so it comes down to Sonic. No, we'll get there, but it's...
Either Goku and Saitama or
Okay.
Hold on, hold on.
Let's-
We gotta get there.
Let's
That's
start.
gonna be good.
All right. So
Did we
First-
say
No
let's
bias, no
chart?
bias.
what?
let's chart.
Let's
chart.
chart.
This is going to be fallowless. Alright.
Let's chart right now.
And just so you know, I wrote these exactly how you had them. So if you didn't add any extras in, it's not in there.
What
I don't know
extras?
that means.
Like, so our first matchup is Goku, but specifically Goku Ultra Instinct
Perfected.
perfected
Jesus, really?
versus
Only allowed to exist in that form.
versus Luke
That he can only hold for like 30 minutes.
versus Luke Skywalker.
Okay, alright. What is the... Alright.
Let's take this as
no.
seriously as we can.
We're taking this seriously because I need clarifying rules. Is this a fight to the death? Is this a fight to submission? Is this a fight to knockout? What are the rules on this?
I'm sorry, did you put two of Tom characters against each other?
Did you
That's what
not
happened.
hear
It was
how I
random.
did this? It was
It was random. Yeah, so two of
I
my
literally
characters
wrote
got put
all
together.
of the characters on paper, balled it all up,
Okay.
threw them in a bucket, and randomly just picked them out.
It's just a very unfortunate start for the rain.
Again, okay, so these are heroes versus heroes.
Yeah.
My question is, one, what's the context? Why are these guys fighting anyway?
Oh, just because this is fun.
So, okay, but that's
So
what I'm
it's
saying. Are
brawling?
they being forced into this, that, like, they
Yes.
have to fight to the death or they will die themselves kind of thing like that? Is this everything on the line? Because a lot about how these characters will fight depends on that context.
We'll say
That's true.
We'll
A
say
lot of the heroes will have set moral codes.
That's the problem.
so. We'll say forced into it to the death, so that like everyone's on a fair playing ground.
Well, then Luke Skywalker. He pinches one nerve and he pinches one blood vessel in Goku's brain and he's dead. And if he's doing all out, it has to do anything that he can to win. Luke Skywalker actually does win that fight. It's the sad part.
I would agree with you if we're allowed to reference legends and shit. If we're
Yeah.
just pulling the canon stuff, he's probably gonna lose.
Oh,
Everyth's on
Yeah.
the table.
No, if everything's on the table. The sad
Then
part
yeah,
is that Luke
he's the
Skywalker
chance
actually wins that one.
Win.
Goku
Yeah.
will sit there and go, "Hey, I want to learn if you're a fun guy to fight." Though actually, if he's already an Ultra Instinct perfected, he's just gonna kill him already. I know that's rough. That's rough.
He's just
Okay.
gonna kind of go.
Because he's
but at
just
that
gonna
point-
go. He has no attitude towards
But-
it. He's already in
I
fight
guess-
mode.
Though I guess Luke Skywalker is a good person to fight him. He is a Jedi, at least sort of
He
gives
can
the
at the very least
foresight.
kind of keep him away.
Gives the foresight. I don't know.
He has a
Gifts of-
lightsaber.
So gifts of foresight one, but at the same time with Goku is the Ultra Instinct itself is basically
He's moving
An-
faster than
an
the speed of light,
avoidance.
basically. Yes.
no, it's instinctual avoidance of
Yeah.
anybody coming on him. So like even if Luke Skywalker was to try and use the Force, he'd already probably perceive it and already act upon whatever it was happening.
Unless
Do we know that for sure? Ultra Instinct is still relatively like iffy in what it's fully capable of. If you can't see the attack, would he be able to avoid it?
I will say that's what I was going to say. If Luke is able to access his force powers without moving any muscles in his body, which
Which
seems
he
like a
can
very
do.
Jedi thing to do,
I mean, I pick Luke Skywalker simply because he
is a badass.
freaking force ghost himself into reality to fight freaking what's his face on that fucking
I'm just
planet.
saying, this actually.
So I mean, he pushed himself over galactic distances and got there.
Oh, no,
so
I'm
you
saying
know,
that's that's why I actually kind of like this battle.
In the movie.
If we're going all out, they have to win, and they will do whatever it takes to win. I think Luke actually does win this one. If they are just their normal selves and they're fighting because someone told them to fight, and it's like if we're doing the World Martial Arts Tournament, Goku versus Luke Skywalker, Goku wins.
but I mean, yeah, I don't know. See,
No, actually,
it's
if we're doing World Martial Arts Tournament, I just pick him up with the Force and I set him gently outside the ring and I go, "This is over. Have a great day, gentlemen." And then I proceed to do that through the every round of the tournament and collect my 1 million zenny.
I don't know if it's to the death. I don't know if like Goku or Luke would automatically just go straight for the kill right away. Like I don't think they would.
They'll both try. Actually, they would both try and figure a way out of the situation while Goku was also
Yes.
trying to punch him as many times as possible.
Yeah, it kind of depends on how much of their own agency we're getting rid of. Are we just making them murderous death machines, or are they still somewhat sentient? They just know one of them has to kill the other.
And that's why I need more context.
I mean,
Game Master, help us here.
Yes.
I think they should still be mostly sentient, and it's the one of you dies or both of you dies type of situation.
If we're capable of pulling from Legends, then I think Luke would be a little quicker to try to go for an instant kill. If he's capable of understanding how dangerous of a threat Goku is.
I guess that actually is really what it depends on. If he understands that if he lets Goku punch him once he dies.
Yeah.
I would say the number one question then would be who would act first.
Goku.
Or even further, who would be able to go faster? Would it be Goku acting first, or Luke trying to use some sort of instant win force ability?
Yeah, it would be who's going to act first because in this fight it'd probably be whoever acted first would be the victor because one is going to be super overpowered and just punch off your skull, and the other one would be force pinching a nerve in your brain.
Yeah, I will say if
The
Goku,
Ultra Instinct. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
What I will say, if Goku gets a punch in, Luke's done.
Yeah.
I don't know what force power allows you to take a punch.
You would just have to avoid it. But there was an ability
well, I
that
mean,
that Luke had that let him focus on weak points of like old injuries that haven't.
Mace Windu had the Shatter Point technique.
Luke had that too in
He
Legends. Figured that out too.
he does have
Goku
his-
is brain damaged theoretically.
and Luke does have his lightsaber, so even if Goku was gonna punch him, he really just has to block it with the lightsaber, and that's gonna...
We've seen Goku block comparable things. It's possible he could block a lightsaber.
Yeah, because I mean he blocks key energy all the time, so that would probably be on an equivalent.
And that is
Actually, the funny
undiluted.
part was he might think that he can block it because he thinks it's a key energy, and it's just plasma and it just goes right through him.
Well, it's that
I would
it's that
enjoy watching that.
layer of key that anyone who can use it can put around themselves. Goku's is just particularly powerful. I mean, the dude's bulletproof when he's not paying attention.
That is actually true. Yeah, he does get shot with actual bullets all the time, and just goes, "What was that?"
Yeah.
Like, oh, that would tickle.
He mentions it might sting sometimes if he's like really just not expecting it, but it never breaks skin or does any real damage to him.
Yeah.
I mean, that is true, but
I would say Shatterpoint's the only chance Luke would actually have it winning, and he'd have to use it right away.
electric justice.
And would he use it right away? That's the problem.
Probably not.
That would only if
Again,
he
it all comes down to who fights first.
Yeah.
All right, so is this
That being said, if they both just stared at each other for 30 minutes, Goku would die. So, he would get really injured. He doesn't die from overuse of Ultra Instinct,
Oh,
but
damn,
there is
I
that
should have.
time limit. He's not meant to be able to use it for very long.
I should have grabbed some like dice, and we could have like.
Yeah, on this
Rolled
one,
for
this
initiative.
might be a literal toss up of a coin here. 'Cause
Well,
again, I
given
think it
how-
comes down, you're right, Tom. It's who moves first.
Oh,
I would
I
say,
would
given how low of a chance it is that Luke is actually capable of getting a kill shot, he has one ability that can do it, and Goku has like 10 million. Goku takes the.
Then Goku wins. There we go. We gotta put Goku down.
Okay, are we all in
We in
agreement?
agreement. Goku moves forward.
yeah, I'll agree to that.
Hey, we had to actually pretend that we're taking this seriously.
Hey, I mean, it is a fair question. It's just my biggest thing at that point would be who acts first, because I think Goku, as soon as the bell would ring, would just
He's
go
like,
in
Well, that's
for an
Goku.
attack.
Yeah, he starts a fight
yeah,
immediately once the fight starts.
He'd go into an attack, and it would be a split eye second movement, and he'd already be in behind him, and the guy'd be already dead. You know,
I mean,
Luke would already be dead.
it's because we keep the morality of the characters. Luke is essentially a pacifist warrior monk. Like, he's not going to start a fight immediately. He's going to wait until the last possible moment to go for a kill shot.
and and he was not going to realize that. Oh, I didn't have the moment. Okay, even,
Yeah, I
Oh,
didn't
yeah.
have a
even
moment.
looking into the future, he was faster than that. What the fuck?
All right, so in
He
Goku-
has outsped, like, time stops before.
That is true.
Yeah.
Yeah, he went faster than Hit's time skip. Yeah.
All right, so in Goku Ultra Instinct Perfected versus Luke Skywalker, Goku Ultra Instinct Perfected wins.
I think we just call him Goku. It's cool.
Yeah, we just call him
Yeah, it's
Goku.
just,
Now we
it's
understand.
just the ability he has. We know what state he's in.
Okay,
At his top
jumping over to the villain side. Our first matchup is Davros versus Hans Gruber.
Hans has guns, he wins.
power. What'd you say?
Hans has guns, he
Guns.
wins.
I always thought you said goons, and I'm like, pretty sure Davros
Oh, no.
has quite a few goons.
No, yeah.
Davros
Gun.
has shields.
Yeah, no, Davros wins. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he has
He has
shields.
the
He
Daleks.
automatically, it's already there.
He has an army of Daleks behind him as well, but
No, this doesn't say Davros
Okay.
with minions.
That's
This
true.
just says Davros.
Are we giving, like, assists? Can we get all the random shit? Does Afra get her murder droids?
no, well, no. But I want to say, like, okay, so if it's Davros, then he's still in a mobile base station of a Dalek unit, so he has all the powers and capabilities of a fully armed Dalek.
That's true.
So he's damn near invincible and has a one-shot instant kill on anything. And Hans Gruber is just a standard human being. Hans is dead. Those are
You're not-
both my characters, and Hans is dead.
I was just saying, we had to give a counter argument.
I appreciate it, but
I
he is
think-
deader than when he fell off a Nakatomi Plaza.
I'm probably going to do the same thing with whoever Gunderson gets put up against. Like,
I will say though, he's deader than when he fell off a Nakatomi Plaza. He's real dead.
Thomas, are you in agreement?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Brandon.
He's
You're
a
talking
flaming
space
skeleton.
versus guns.
What do you want?
the best devil's advocate was he has guns.
Yeah, guns.
Which they specifically approve in the Davros' shields melts it down, and he laughs at that when it happens.
All right, so Davros versus Hans Gruber. Davros wins.
As long as Simon doesn't find out, we're gonna have at least one of the Gruber brothers will live.
All right, back to our hero side.
Wait, hold on. So for people who don't know who Davros is,
Oh yeah, I guess we should give some context.
you should give some context for certain people because they probably don't know exactly where it's from.
We got some nerdy shit on these. We're gonna have. We probably should just explain all the characters, honestly. But
Yeah,
yes,
so Goku's from Dragon Ball Z, Luke Skywalker's from Star Wars.
you should probably know that one, but that's okay.
Yeah, but people might not.
Yeah.
So
Davros is from Doctor Who.
Davros is from Doctor Who. He's the creator of the Daleks, the Doctor's main overarching villain from the beginning of time.
And Hans Gruber is the bad guy in Die Hard.
Again, we were given very little context, so
He
there's
loses
a lot
to-
of
he loses
feud
to Bruce
provide.
Willis in that movie. Of course, he's gonna lose to Death.
We'll keep this in mind for next year. You can pick better characters.
Could have just let us repick, but whatever.
No,
I wrote it in pen. We can't repick.
I did. I wrote it in pen. All right. So next round for our heroes: She-Ra, the DreamWorks version, versus Saitama.
Great.
Again,
The two
So-
characters with the least defined abilities.
So, Peter, you've watched the DreamWorks version of She-Ra, so you're gonna have to give us some context of her abilities in.
So, by the end of the show, I'm assuming we're taking these characters at their peak form, right?
yeah.
yes, yeah.
By the end of the show, we don't really know if she has any upwards limits of abilities. She kind of has a lot of ridiculous feats. Exactly, as well as containing a fuck ton of magic, like a planet's worth of magic, basically. It's too ill-defined. These two probably shouldn't have been put into a death battle.
I mean,
It was
if we,
random.
so I mean, Peter, let's have a discussion then because
Alright, and
that's
then
yours
who's-
and mine,
and
right?
then who's Saitama?
Yeah.
Saitama is from an anime called One Punch Man. The whole trope of the thing is that he is so strong that it only takes one punch for him to basically, you know, destroy everybody. Like, he can literally just punch
beat anyone.
finish anything.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And if we were to talk like feats in Saitama's, is he actually fights and beats God
Yes.
One punch.
with
I think he
one
takes
punch?
2 punches. I think that one didn't it take 2 punches? That was the funny part.
So I would be inclined to lean towards Saitama, honestly, because She-Ra does at least have a known weakness, and she can really only maintain the She-Ra transformation if she's emotionally or mentally stable. If she's upset or sad in any way, she struggles to hold that and then can very quickly be killed.
I think
Yeah,
the
and-
first time you get punched by a One Punch Man's one punch.
Yeah. We're not decent chance if she's able to hold the transformation, she might be able to take one of the punches.
Oh
But-
yeah, one.
That the emotional health or the emotional stability and mental health required to hold her transformation is he just has to insult her a little. Like,
But he probably wouldn't. That's the thing. I mean, he probably would just stay silent and be like, "Okay, what are we doing?" And then she would attack him, and he would just be like,
One
"That's
punch.
it."
she wouldn't,
He wouldn't even punch. He would just stand there.
Yeah, he does like to get hit a lot. Just go, oh god.
Yeah, he literally gets hit
Really
all the
again?
fucking time. So he would probably get hit, not do anything, and then be like, "Okay, I guess I got to take this serious," because it probably was like hard enough to make a move. And then on top of that, that guy wouldn't even think twice about it. He would just do it, and he has no emotions to care. So he would just be like, "Bet, fuck it, I'm gonna do it," and then just obliterate the shit out of her.
Well, I guess it depends on another argument too. Technically, she does not win the final fight against like the big, massive Horde Prime hive mind by fighting. She just kind of deletes his like sentience from existence by wanting to.
Huh?
So I mean,
So
Yeah.
like you said, there was the magic component. You got to factor in the actual literal magic
Yeah.
for She-Ra.
so
It's theoretically possible 'cause she could just delete his existence, like not his body or anything, but just his ability to be sentient.
maybe, but in
Be
the
a
same
husk of a person.
But in the same instance, I mean, you're talking about God who would do the exact same thing and he couldn't do anything to Saitama, as well as people with psychic powers who are worlds beyond powerful, barely being able to do anything to this dude. So,
No,
I would
get-
argue this kind of comes down to the same thing with Luke and Goku.
Yeah.
The mindset of who's going to attack first and how well it would be,
and how well it affects.
That's why this debate has gone on though, because I guess literally Saitama is written and done everything like that. The whole point is that he's boring and bored because yes, he will always win with one punch. It doesn't matter what's going on, he always wins, and
Yeah.
it makes him sad because there's no actual challenge ever anywhere, no matter how big the big bad is.
Yeah.
Even when they go, oh, he's defeated all of your friends and you didn't fight. Now you have to fight and punch him. And he goes, yes.
Yes.
Oh, I actually
Yeah,
bled through
whatever.
my nose. Okay, one punch and you're dead. Oh, I guess that's over again.
Has he even shown to take that much of a hit in the manga?
No, I mean he takes a hit, but he'll be flung somewhere sometimes.
And
Like
then
they'll
nobody gets-
move him.
Or he's like dusty. He's like, oh.
Yeah, or he's dusted.
Nothing
Yeah.
like, oh, I've got a bloody nose, or I seem to actually be hurt. Like just kind of.
No
I don't
bloody
think he
nose or
ever even
anything.
had that, has he? No.
Yeah, he just gets moved.
So I would, because there's one win scenario still for She-Ra versus Saitama having quite a few win scenarios. I would argue towards Saitama
I
winning
would
that
have
one.
to too. I want to root for She-Ra on that one, but I gotta go.
It would,
Here's-
like I said, it would require him to not perceive the immediate threat and then her to just instantly go for the "I'm gonna delete your consciousness" thing.
True.
Yeah.
But I don't
know.
I don't want to hit a woman.
No, he has no problem doing
Nah,
that.
no. I was like, oh,
But
it's
from
fairly-
memory serves,
fairly
he's a
good.
pretty chill character. That's why I'm like, I don't know if he would instantly
Yeah,
We're like,
attack.
but again, I think that, well, again, that's the context of this. Have they been thrown into this knowing, hey, if you don't immediately try and kill each other in this death battle, we'll just kill you ourselves? But also, how do they prove, and like, with some of the characters I've gotten, like,
What- but-
how's any outside influence going to kill that with nobody else?
How would
it's
an outside
because
influence kill
actually
Saitama?
not necessarily if her little mind wipe thing is killing the body, it's basically just making him brain dead.
Oh, she still loses. Disqualification.
Yeah.
It's a double whammy.
I mean, brain dead is kind of dead.
Nope.
It's pretty much dead. She's the
Darwin
judge.
Warner?
I would say that's an argue. But like I said, I'm kind of inclined to agree that Saitama would probably win this
I
one.
still think so. Yeah.
He's got a little bit too much overpowered going on versus She-Ra, who is overpowered at the end, but we don't really get to see a lot of that. That's just the last episode. So we don't really know a lot of the defined weaknesses or strengths of that version of it.
Yeah.
Is everyone in agreement?
I think we can move forward with that one.
Thomas?
Sure, let's agree.
What's
I would
the
still.
argument there, Tom?
I think the only argument that I'd have would be like the magic aspect. Like if she's able to maybe like transport him somewhere, that might be her only ploy to do something to make him go. But at the same time, what are the rules of the tournament? Like with the tournament, like would they allow transportation of some type of, away from the ring to make that person die, or is it like
Sure.
there's just a ring?
Then
Well, I mean,
theoretically, I guess,
Steven's
but she
rules.
can't like open a
Steve's
portal
just
or
saying,
anything.
sure.
yeah, I need a clarification here because this will be a deciding factor for me. Is one, are they in a ring and they're fighting in a ring and that's all they can stay in is that ring and they just have no escape to leave that ring, or is it like a fucking galactic wide fucking fight where they can do anything, anywhere, anything?
I kind of pictured it like the ultimate fighter thing in
In a
Dragon Ball.
cage.
In the
Just
the
just
world martial
in a
arts.
room, you can't move anywhere and you're stuck.
Oh
Yeah.
no, she's thinking the Universal Tournament.
yeah.
Yeah, the Universal Tournament where it's
Where
just
it's
on
a giant
a
ring floating in
platform,
a void. Yes.
and then they get kicked out and they disappear and they
Yeah, but the rules
pretty
of
much
that one
die.
was you were not.
That would
allowed, you were
classify
not.
ring outs. You lose.
I would say that one was you were specifically not allowed to kill anyone.
Yeah,
That's
but
true.
That's actually
In this case, we're going with the kill.
Like I said, if you're going
Killer
with
be
kill,
killed.
it's different. Actually, this fight might be this bracket might be better if we go with you're not allowed to kill.
Right.
I would
so,
I would go with Saitama at this point.
argument, yeah, with the magic thing, if she was able to do teleport or anything like, she's not really capable of that.
I think
If she had a means maybe to like take him into space, she can breathe in space.
Well,
But
I mean, it'd be
it's-
like Doctor Strange. He'd make a portal and throw him somewhere, and then he'd throw Saitama into like the center of a black hole or some shit.
Right. But that's not something she's really capable of, unfortunately. Like I said, that level of magic she gets at the end, we see her do a few things, but not a lot. That's why I'm like, she's got a really ill-defined power set. We don't really know the upward limits or the lower limits at that point.
Yeah, with Saitama, he has upward limits even past God. So
Exactly.
He has no upper limit. That's the point.
yeah, he's past God.
All right, so we're saying She-Ra versus Saitama. Saitama.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, in large parts because of how ill-defined my character was.
I'm
Again,
reading
if
that.
I had known what this was for, I wouldn't have picked her.
Hey, I tried to be devil's advocate here to
did,
go with
and
her.
I appreciated it, but like it's like, not really, because
No.
it's too ill-defined of a character.
Yeah, I mean,
would
I'm
have
not.
to argue- Yeah, good.
I'm not familiar with She-Ra's like final battles and stuff like that. So if you're talking magic, there's always some type of
There's always some
bullshit.
bullshit.
Yeah.
Saying
Yeah.
there's
She
a
could maybe
chance.
turn him into a tree. I don't know.
Mhm.
She turns the big space station into a tree just by walking towards it.
All right.
Saying that could be dangerous, but I think
Villain side.
All right,
Next
we're
round. Homelander versus Maleficent.
Top of
What?
my head.
You picked Maleficent, you freak.
Yeah. I love
fucking,
Maleficent.
fucking Homelander. I'm not even gonna question this.
Yeah.
Homelander. It would be like Bing, and he'd go Bing, and just fucking annihilate her. He
Even
wouldn't
with
care.
magic, no. The problem is he's a literal sociopath. He wanted to kill her without there being a tournament that's saying you're supposed to kill this person. He's just
like,
looking
wait.
for somebody to kill.
Wait, I get to kill people in this? Like,
Yeah.
and I won't get in trouble?
Like at all?
fucking dead.
Like at all? Can I kill everyone? No, I can't
Homelander
kill
would
everyone.
immediately go for the instant kill. And I just don't. I mean, she loses to a dude with a fucking sword, doesn't she?
Yes.
That is true.
She loses.
Once it goes down, even in Dragon,
Fine.
I'm sorry. I would love to argue that, but
Homelander is going
I
to
mean,
come
she's
out with.
magic, so if it was Superman, she might have a chance, but it's Homelander.
I'm saying that's there's gonna be Vought Industries purple magic dragon put out on the market less than 10 hours later.
All right, Homelander versus Maleficent. Homelander takes it.
Again, I want to try it, but no, yeah, he's so
I wanna.
he's psychopath.
Well, I guess this will be a really quick then one too.
What's that?
All right, what's up?
Hero side, Deadpool versus Arthur Dent.
Oh, Deadpool. What?
I don't know who
Arthur Dent is a normal ass British dude.
I will say his one superpower is always seemingly living when he should definitely be dead.
Yeah, but
Again,
okay,
the man has
hold
gotten.
on, hold on.
The man has
Where
gotten.
is
Arthur
who-
Dent is the
from
main
Hitchhiker's
protagonist in the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. He is the normal human everyman that you see the world through and go, oh, we are stupid as humans and we suck.
Got it.
emphasis on normal. He is a normal ass person.
He is like legitimately like supposed to be the most normal ass person ever of all time.
Not like the normal everyman that shows up is like, that's not how anyone's like. But no,
He
this
is
is
the
just a dude.
definition of normal.
Just
Is normal.
a regular dude. His house gets demolished to make a bypass.
Aw.
But I will say he always remembers his talent. Technically, he can fly. Yes, Arthur Dent has mastered the knack to flying, which is throwing yourself at the ground and missing. No, legitimately, he flies.
I know, I forgot about
It's in
that.
the sequels, to the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. But Arthur Dent can fly, and yeah, his one superpower is seemingly living through things that he should never have had any right to live through, because the universe really just wants to fuck with him more. And if he dies, it can't keep fucking with him.
You're not wrong, but Deadpool is also immortal.
All I'm saying is this is kind of a weird standoff that neither one of these guys dies. It really is kind of like the thing. I think
Neither of them can really die. Neither of them would really want to kill the other one.
Yeah, they would. Deadpool wouldn't see the point. And then if you actually, oh man, you know aliens? What's this whole Tau thing? Talk to me about this.
Well, somebody has to win.
Deadpool wins. Yes, 100%.
Deadpool wins. Oh, yeah.
But
Literally, the personification of death would not let him win.
well, yeah, exactly. But I was trying to give the argument. Arthur Dent can technically fly, and yeah, seems to get his way out of everything.
All right,
not
Deadpool
wrong.
versus Arthur Dent. Deadpool takes it.
Deadpool chops his head off with a katana. He's still a dude.
Yeah, he's still a normal dude.
If Ford Prefect's not there with him, he's definitely just a dead dude.
Hopping back over to our villains, we've got Maestro Hulk. Who's this? Who's Maestro Hulk?
The worst
like
of
the
all of them.
genius.
The worst of all the Hulk.
Well, besides maybe Devil Hulk, but that's a relatively recent version.
Okay. Well, Maestro Hulk versus Grand Admiral Thrawn.
All right, clarification.
Uh,
Does the Grand Admiral have his armada?
No.
oh, it's just Grand Admiral Thrawn?
And
If it's just the blue dude in the room. Sorry, stop.
He'll get a good few punches that won't do anything.
It doesn't matter if he's the greatest tactical mind of all time. If he doesn't actually have his armada,
you
he's
didn't.
really fucked.
No, it's just him with a blaster. Does he have a blaster? He gets a blaster.
He would have a blaster.
Actually, he's the kind of guy who wouldn't have a blaster.
He actually, yeah, he doesn't. He prefers, even in canon, his martial arts.
He would do hand to hand, and then if he needed to, take your blaster off of you and kill you with it. But yeah, he wouldn't stand a chance against regular Hulk.
Yeah, even with like a full-on Star Destroyer, I don't think he'd be able to beat Hulk.
I said his armada. I'm thinking I'm thinking the Thrawn trilogy novels where he literally has star forges and stuff like that at his disposal.
All right, and near infinite supply of that's fair.
And then he might have a chance. And I still think he goes down hard.
I think the biggest issue would just be Hulk trying to find him in that instance.
Yeah, I'm running away towards the galactic center at the closest thing past light speed that I can make. Okay.
Yeah.
So does that mean Maestro Hulk
Yeah.
takes it?
No.
Yeah. He's fucking ruthless. You
Yeah.
not even
So
think about
far,
You
I
don't
believe
even
we're at
need more
100%
context
for
for
all of
Maestro
your fighting characters, Tom. I
Yeah.
think all of your characters have won so far.
All right, so Maestro Hulk versus Grand Admiral Thrawn. Maestro Hulk takes it.
Well, I'm really upset
Hey.
now.
Ill matches up so far.
In
I'm
my
really-
defense, Luke lost.
Yeah, but that was also your. He was also fighting your character.
All right, so I
That's
just
fair.
want to let you know that when this matched up, I squealed with giddiness because I think this is probably the greatest
Okay, it seems like too much buildup.
wizard matchup.
Oh, wizard
so-
matchup.
Obi-Wan Kenobi, Space Wizard, versus Gandalf the Grey, actual wizard.
Space wizard versus actual wizard. Space wizard.
I think Space
So
Space
I'm
Wizard
only
would
just
win.
now working through my because I just got a copy of the books, the little like pocket copies, and I'm
Okay.
just working through the books. I've never read the books before. I've seen all the movies.
Lord of the
So
Rings, is that what
Gandalf
you're
is a
saying?
little
Okay.
yeah. Gandalf's a little iffy for me. In the movies, he's not crazy powerful. Most of his spells are just kind of slight manipulations. Pretty sure Obi-Wan's got that. It's
But if we're talking Gandalf, I mean, either Gandalf, Ascended Gandalf the White,
No,
or
it's
before he actually.
specifically
It
Gandalf
is
the Grey.
specifically-
Like I said, but and
because I like that version of the character more than
I will say, and if it was him when he was an actual like Maiar before he was shoved into a body and made a wizard, yeah, he'd be more powerful than Obi-Wan. But I think Obi-Wan has to take it if it's against specifically Gandalf the Grey, because that guy's just
Specifically.
smoking on pipe weed and making fireworks. I'm sorry.
yeah.
He really only gets serious right there at the end. He was kind of even fucking around the whole Hobbit thing there too. He was again. I think the Hobbit definitely just happened because Gandalf got high and goes, "This is gonna be funny. Let's see what happens here." You're like, "Oh fuck! The dragon's really there still. Oh shit! I thought I was tripping, guys. I'm sorry. No, that's a real dragon. Oh, we are not prepared. Oh lord."
So, Obi-Wan Kenobi versus Gandalf the Grey. Obi-Wan takes it.
Yeah, he chops his staff in half with a lightsaber. Okay, I'm sorry.
Aw, poor Gandalf.
I like the Hobbit version of Gandalf from what I've seen and read in like the comics and shit. So I was like, I like this character. That's who I'll pick. I didn't expect to have to fight someone.
Again, he's more fun, yes, and he's great at research.
Yeah.
Really good at research.
If it was studying, it'd probably still be a close battle, but he'd have a better chance.
And I will say, it did take him 9 years to figure out where to research the One Ring, though. But Obi-Wan is definitely a space archaeologist too. He's got
Yeah.
some Space Indiana Jones vibes going on there too.
All
He
right,
belongs in a museum.
all right. Villains:
Okay.
Thanos versus Jafar.
Thanos.
Yeah.
All right.
It was. We
I
clarified.
see.
It was full gauntlet.
It was full gauntlet Thanos, but
Also, wait, is it MCU Thanos or comic Thanos?
Comic Thanos. Yeah, definitely not MCU Thanos.
Okay.
Yeah, it's done. He wins the whole
Comic
tournament.
Thanos. I love
No,
comic
I'm gonna
Thanos.
say Jafar was my character, and
First of all-
specifically what I had in mind Jafar was before he makes his third wish and becomes a genie. He's the all-powerful, the most powerful sorcerer who's ever lived.
First of all, neither one of you specified that when you wrote it down. So it's plain
We
old Thanos
specified it
and
in text
Thanos
message.
Jafar.
Wait, hold on. We have already made previous rulings on this stuff that outside of Gandalf the Grey, who was specified that version, these are the most powerful and peak versions of these characters. So arguably, those would be the peak versions of those two characters.
Well, then technically Jafar would be an all-powerful genie at his most powerful. So I think he.
Do
actually
you really
does
want him to be enslaved to another person? Because that weakness would still apply. He could only do the wishes of another person.
Nah, he is technically freed in Jafar, the Return of Jafar episode.
Is he freed in Return of the Jafar?
Yeah, he tricks Viziv into
Wishing him free.
he does,
Fair
he
enough.
does do that. I will say technically he is at one point in time an unrestricted all-powerful genie. They do
So
still,
even though-
the only thing that defeats him is another all-powerful genie.
So even though he is an all-powerful genie, I mean, you're talking about the Reality Stone on the gauntlet,
Yeah, but again-
basically changing magic to nothing. So
Yeah, but he also he's literally the
A
physical
genie would have
embodiment
the same-
of an Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah, he would have the same
He
capabilities.
is literally, he would be able to go, I know, they're just nullifying each other's bullshit.
So
then what
fair
would it-
enough with that one.
It's a tie.
what would it come down to?
I think it comes down to us stripping them down to their basic levels and regular. If we strip it down to regular levels, regular Thanos beats
Versus-
regular Jafar.
Okay,
Very-
so the scenario would be that they'd be nullifying each other to a certain point where they just finally nullify each other to
They'd
their
just be
weakest
regular
forms,
dudes.
and
Yeah.
they're just the weakest dudes,
And Thanos,
and Thanos
is still,
would kill him.
Thanos is still a Titan, and yeah, Thanos is still technically an Eternal, I guess, right? From Titan.
Yeah, I think he's one of them.
He's technically
Say.
an Eternal, but he's
You looking it up?
he's from Titan. I know that, which has a higher gravity content, so he'd just be able to take a better punch anyway. And Jafar is a guy with a stick that can hypnotize people. So yeah, I think eventually they'd be so powerful that they'd end up making each other not powerful, and then Thanos wins.
Well, hold on. Jafar can hypnotize people, and the comic version of Thanos is an idiot.
Oh, he's extreme. It's
Yeah.
comic Thanos. He's extremely susceptible to hypnotism.
Yeah, he's
he-
stupid fucking simp that falls for the simplest bullshit, even when he has the full gauntlet.
Yeah, he does remind me a lot of the Sultan. I will say.
Plus,
Jafar had him wrapped around his finger.
Jafar, as a full unleashed genie, has a way to technically take away the full gauntlet from Thanos without, like him also without having to magic it away. He just has to cut off Thanos' arm.
What Doctor Strange should have done the entire time.
What Doctor Strange should have done, what Wolverine did in a lot of stories involving those
He
two.
just chop his arm off. Yeah,
He just chopped his arm off. Yeah.
There's
There's a specific one where it's like an alternate universe where Wolverine, Spider-Man, Ghost Rider, and Hulk have taken over for the Fantastic Four. He just kind of convinces Thanos that he wants to help him, and then as soon as he's distracted, he cuts off his arm.
Hopefully using just the middle finger and blade.
I'm pretty sure it was, yeah.
Fuck you. Slink. All right. There we go.
Yeah.
Sneak.
So that's the biggest thing. MCU Thanos' weakness is that he can only use it one time, but he also has much stronger conviction, so the one time he uses it's but the comic Thanos, he can use it as much as he wants as long as he has it, but he's kind of an idiot.
Yeah, Tom did, I guess, clarify comic.
It was
Thanos.
comic, yeah.
So,
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It's like that was one of the questions I had for myself. This whole leading up to it with Thanos is like, is this comic or movie? Because movie one,
I will say,
it's
yeah,
smarter, but
technically more powerful in the comics because he does a lot more shit, but also they make him a lot less powerful so they can continue making issues of the comics.
yeah.
Yeah, it's his inherent flaw. is that he's dumb.
I can travel anywhere in the universe with this gauntlet, but I'm gonna fly away in my helicopter right now, you assholes.
So who's it coming down to?
I don't know, who are we doing? What are we coming to this?
I did like y'all's argument of base Thanos versus base Jafar. Thanos would probably win that fight. Because, Jafar's brainwashing does require them to stare at his staff for a minute. Good chance Thanos just wouldn't do it.
Again, the comic Thanos seems like he'd be like, we would go, what's this? Whoa,
Fucking Jafar would be like, whoa, 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 wait. And Thanos would be like, what?
Well,
What?
He probably doesn't even work on alien physiology. It probably only works on
Yeah, who knows how it works?
All right, damn it. Jafar was mine. I was trying to make the argument.
That's
Thanos
right,
is
another one
okay,
that
fine.
to get pretty arrogant too when he notices the power disparity between them. He might just be overconfident enough to stare at him if Jafar asks him to.
All right, Pete. I don't know. You're making the argument here. All right, so what's our vote?
In all honesty, I would go for Jafar just for the simple fact that Jafar would have a little bit more smarts than fucking base Thanos because they would just annihilate each other till they got to that point.
Okay,
Yeah.
Jafar it is. Jafar it is.
And even then, at their full power, technically, the
Jafar.
ability to alter reality goes to Jafar as a natural ability versus Thanos basically stealing it and only able to use it because of the
All right,
Cut out because of a what?
gauntlet.
Oh, okay. So,
I guess
in
Jafar it is.
a turn of events, Thanos versus Jafar, Jafar takes it?
Yeah.
That's gonna be. I'm calling it right now. That's our controversial upset of the night. I think we made a relatively decent argument for it, but I think that's definitely the upset of the evening.
All right. Next. Jumping back over to our heroes. This guy's got no chance. Nathan Drake versus The Flash.
The Flash. Fucking the Flash. Nathan Drake's dead. Nathan Drake died fucking a
I
second
have to
ago.
make the argument, I guess. It'd be the same argument as Arthur Dent. Drake's stupid fucking lucky and has gotten into some really situations where he should have died. And he is also technically superhuman, but nothing like the Flash.
And he has a gun.
Hey, I will say, even.
Oh wait, also, which version of the Flash are we talking about?
But I will say,
His
even
most powerful version.
No, because there's different Flashes. Check her list. Does it say which character it is?
I'm gonna go with.
Jay Garrick. She might fuck him.
I'm gonna go with the
she's going Barry Allen.
Grant Gustin, Barry Allen version.
Grant Gustin is an actor, so he would die immediately.
No, what I'm saying.
Against the actual Nathan Drake. Yeah.
Ask me which version of the character, and I'm
The
telling
actor?
you, Grant Gustin's version of Barry Allen.
I'm a little upset that we didn't get to see your picks first. Honestly,
Yeah,
I think that would have told us a little bit better about what we should have been picking.
I'm
You are
sorry.
correct. Flash is going to be able to kill Nathan Drake very, very.
But I will say, even if, like you said, even if Nathan Drake got lucky,
Yeah.
Flash could still
It's
go back
still
in time and kill his mom if he really
Yeah.
needs to.
I
Who's
mean,
precedent? But Barry Allen wouldn't
Hold
want to
on,
kill
hold on.
anybody.
Tom's got a caveat.
what if Lucky basically means that the Flash would kill himself on accident?
Yeah, it
That he would
depends on how
that he
lucky
would either
is.
that
That's
he would
the
either
win scenario for Nathan Drake. Flash kills himself on accident.
I mean,
Flash
I mean,
wins.
I mean, what if Nathan Drake is just that lucky that, like, Barry Allen just like starts running and then falls and then just cracks his skull or something and then bleeds out on the concrete? Nathan Drake's just like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
He
or
was
the
there
Flash-
1 second. He's dead right now. What the fuck?
The Flash really isn't paying it, is already knocked unconscious, and he just shoots him in the head. All right, maybe. I
Yeah,
don't
it
know.
just boom, and he's just on the ground going, "What the fuck?" And there's just blood everywhere. He's like, "How did that happen?"
As funny as it is, I don't think Peter buys your argument.
Oh, no.
The Flash
I
fans were
said
just
that-
trying to come up with some
Yeah.
way for him to have a chance, but no.
I just
Flash
tried to make
fans-
the argument that you can't, like, if you pick the actor Grant Gustin, he wins. I think I even said in the chat that Nate is one of those characters that immediately I'm dismissing because he's gonna get killed almost immediately.
Wait,
God,
who played him in the movie?
Tom Holland.
Yeah, okay. No, Tom Holland versus.
Grant Gustin.
I'm pretty sure Tom Holland still wins that.
I think Tom Holland still wins that, right?
that guy's a gymnast. He fucking kill everybody.
All
got
right,
crazy legs.
so we're calling it Nathan Drake versus the Flash. The Flash takes
Yeah,
it.
no shit, the Flash did.
Shit, picks it. You hid your picks and then didn't tell us what this all was for.
Oh, calm down. Not all my
won't.
picks
I
are that great.
refuse.
Yeah, Maleficent was terrible. She lost to a dude with a sword.
All right, next side, villain side. Thor Gunderson. Who's Thor Gunderson?
He is the main villain of Hell on Wheels.
What's he do? I don't
He's a
He's
dude.
just a crazy.
He's a regular dude.
He's a crazy dude with a sawed-off shotgun.
Versus.
I believe he also has a revolver.
I also don't know who this person is, so you'll have to assist me. Arthas Menethil?
Thor Gunderson loses. Arthas is the Lich King from World of Warcraft.
Oh.
He's their version of Sauron.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, there's not even an argument that can be made here.
Yeah.
Shotgun
It's
versus
dumb.
magic. What happens first? Now here you go. Does the Lich King have to say anything to cast his spells?
No.
Okay, then yeah.
He's also technically undead at getting shot with a shotgun.
Oh yeah,
He's already dead.
I mean,
Yeah.
he's undead,
He's
so I
undead.
mean, if you shoot him in the head, he might be dead.
I believe you have to
he
remove
does
the
have.
head to destroy the brain.
Yeah,
was
so he'd
only
be destroying
able
the
to
brain.
He was only able to be killed by breaking Frostmourne, restoring his own soul, and then having a mortal.
Yes.
So he's immortal.
Thor loses.
Arthas wins. Yeah. Thor Gunderson loses. Thor
Alright.
Gunderson, the Swede, loses. Not Thor.
I think Thor actually would still might lose on that one. It's a very specific
Technically
set
his-
of circumstances to kill the other guy.
I would argue that technically his lightning would be considered holy, so he'd be able to easily break Frostmourne.
Okay. Yeah. That's.
Cool.
He's basically a paladin.
Yeah.
I'm already gonna concede this battle, but it's okay.
Okay, what is this?
All Might versus Sailor Moon.
Don't concede that.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, I wouldn't
we're
consider
talking
that.
the most powerful version of Sailor Moon too.
Yeah.
That crazy
I mean,
magical transforming
we
magic
can-
got out there too. I'm just saying.
I mean, I'm not
Arguably,
really,
since it's peak All Might, we can take away his 3-hour time limit, but he's just really strong.
I haven't gotten through Sailor Moon Cosmos yet, so I'm not super familiar. I'm only like familiar up through Eternal, and I mean, yeah, if she's fully powered up and using the crystals, maybe.
Oh, there it goes.
But I mean, she's got to have time to sit there and do her shit.
Yeah.
How
that was-
durable is she?
Yeah,
How
that's,
what?
that it really will come down to how durable
Is
they
she
are.
able to take a hit?
Yes.
I know she'll bitch about it because she's Sailor Moon, but can she take a hit?
She can take some hits. She's done it before.
That's the problem with All Might is that he can dish him out, but he can also take it. Like you can punch
He's-
that dude all day, and he's basically invulnerable.
It would be kind of the same argument as Saitama versus She-Ra, where I think Magic would fuck. But he's not nearly as OP as Saitama.
Well, that's
Which is
true.
why I'm like, you really need to make an argument for Sailor Moon.
I need, yeah, come on. In the name of
Because
the
I
moon,
think
she
you
punishes who?
probably can.
I mean, yeah, I think in her ultra, in her eternal form, using the power of the silver crystal, if she's got enough time to like do essentially her version of power up in like full blast, I think she could win.
Can you give any other win scenario?
No, that's her only.
It's for
that's-
one win
That's
thing.
all she's got.
Yeah, normally she needs lots of friends helping her. It's kind of the whole point. That's why there's a bunch of Sailor Scouts.
No, not really. Like, especially in the crystal version, like 9 out of 10 times she does that all on her own.
Well, then that's what I'm saying.
But I'm saying,
I
like,
think she
if
might have a better
she's-
chance than you're giving her a year. I thought she was your
She-
character. You don't want us to defend her?
Can we make an argument that peak All Might would let her?
Let her power up.
So when All Might's
definitely would.
when he's got his 3-hour time limit, he's a lot more efficient in wanting to stop the villain right away. But even then, we still see him kind of fuck up to play to the crowd and shit.
But he
Is
wouldn't
that
be playing to the crowd, would he? Because he'd be
not necessarily? But it's just the attitude of the characters. I'm saying.
But I'm also not as familiar with All Might's powers. Like, is he just a beat 'em up type, or does he have?
He's a beat 'em up type.
Yeah,
He doesn't
I mean,
He has super strength and like super durability, and that's about it. It's just how high on the scale that.
I think if that's all he has, I think quote unquote magic beats brute force.
She's got her moon weapons and all sorts of crazy shit. I don't know.
But I mean, her ultimate attack is basically using the silver crystal, super powered up, and full blast somebody.
Well, that's assuming that she would go straight for the ultimate attack too. Has she fought any enemies that have a similar, as we've described it, power set? Because I'm not super familiar with Sailor Moon.
Brute force? Yeah, I mean, she's been in like fist fights, and she's taken hits, and she's also taken like power attacks. Like,
Here's a question for you, for Sailor Moon. Could she survive a punch that would destroy a building?
Yeah, that's a good one. And that's low scaling for All Might too.
Yeah, very low
'Cause
scale.
he's
but-
able to destroy like a city block pretty casually. He made a
yeah, I
tornado.
mean, you say
I mean,
she got into fist fights, but like,
I wanna
can she
say-
survive like heavy hits, like
I mean-
Superman hits?
she survived getting stabbed with a sword.
That's different, and not really what we're talking about here.
Sharp and pointy doesn't really go hard
Yeah.
and blunt.
We're talking about blunt hints from
I mean,
a super
I'm trying
strength.
to think of like the worst hit she's ever taken, and I mean,
And then how quickly is she to act? Does she like just straight go for a thing, or is it just
it kind of just is situational. I mean, I think in this case, she might take a couple hits and then full blast. But
Yeah, the question is going to be how hard can she take
I'm
it?
looking at all
is,
this.
like-
She didn't. She can't take it.
She can't take it.
I'm looking at some of this. She's knocked unconscious quite a few times in the overview Wikipedia of Sailor Moon.
well, that's an awful thing to go by.
I don't know. I'm just saying.
She was knocked out one time when she first transformed into the princess. After she used all of her energy on that, she passed out. But other than that, like she hasn't really been knocked unconscious.
Let's see. What does she got? Trying to see if there's any other. She's got some.
I'm looking for
things.
durability feats too.
Yeah, I'm trying to see. I just want to know if she's ever been punched in the face, but that's not really like her style of fighting.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, I mean, she's been in fist fights, but like most of the time when it comes to like the ultimate villain, it's usually essentially power attacks.
So her ultimate villain, let's go with that. Her ultimate
Okay.
villain, what was that? Who
Well,
was that?
I'm reading a couple of things. Somebody's wanted to know about okay, what can Sailor Moon actually do?
You cut off.
I'm looking at some other things here. Like I said, I wanted to do some. I wish I had done some research. But in her final form, Sailor Cosmos, that's her Ultra Instinct. She can bend space, time, and reality herself. She is pretty much a god. So at peak form, Sailor Moon does win. Okay, actually, this is really sad. If you just Google things, somebody's already done a write-up of Sailor Moon versus All Might.
Really?
And I actually
Seriously?
want to see this here.
We got to give credit where credit's due. Who are they and what they say?
Okay, this is from MovieWeb.com. All Might at his peak strength is probably the most powerful figure in My Hero Academia. In a universe where characters are powered by quirks, All Might's quirk stands out from the rest. The infamous One for All is an inherited quirk that can be passed down to a new user and brings the talents of the previous heroes with it.
You don't have to read like everything.
So yeah, he's got fight. He's strength, transmission. I don't know what that means. They're willing to do anything. Okay, that's actually sad. They have a hard time deciding between these two who would manage to battle each other for long, and they might buy out of the final fight just due to mutual respect because they're good people.
Well, so they didn't go for the
They bullshitted
to the
it.
death.
Right.
They bullshitted
Fuckers.
it.
Yeah, so that's not.
That's bullshit, is what that is.
That being
We're
said,
gonna
it
get the real
seems to be
answer.
the consensus among most fans that Sailor Moon probably would win with that final form.
Yeah, that's basically what it is. Is that she actually is given the opportunity to transform, which All Might probably would give her the opportunity to do so.
Given the opportunity. I mean, all right.
Well, if it's peak form, would we need them to transform?
Well, yeah,
Because
they're already-
technically,
if
even
they're
All Might
already-
They
have
already
to
beat.
transform to go into their peak.
Yeah, that would be the thing.
Well, my thing is, I didn't say she would need time to transform. I said she would need time to power up because all of her attacks do involve like.
a power up.
like a
If
dance
we have
move.
Goku going into it by default and Ultra Instinct starting the fight there, I think we can say she can start her fight in her peak form.
Well, no, I mean peak form would be fine, but if she has to power up an attack every time, even though she's at peak form, then I would say All Might, just because it would take time for her to do this. And to kind of give you guys a little bit of context of where my mind is, after like the first two fights and watching people die, I think all of the contestants would realize
You
that
gotta go
it's
first.
it's gotta go. You gotta do it.
That implies this is an event with continuity where all the other characters are seeing the fights. Is that something we're doing? Because that seems a little weird.
If it was
No,
just
that wasn't.
That's kind of
okay, so
that's
if
kinda like
it's just
Yeah.
random people, like I thought it was like they're all in a fucking
no, they're
place
Yeah,
fighting each
they're
other,
being
you know?
teleported in and then teleported immediately away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This isn't the Hunger Games. There's no spectators.
Okay. All right.
Except
So
for us.
we're good. Yeah, except for us. But okay, so we know that they
Us
don't
four
know
sickos.
that people are getting killed, but they will know this next round, the second round. They'll know.
They'll know.
I
Yeah.
think we can
They'll
actually
have the knowledge and
round,
go a
round
little
two. There
faster.
is prior knowledge.
Round
that
two, they'll
yeah.
know, but the first round they don't.
Right.
Okay, gotcha.
Fair enough.
All right, so
So,
and then what do we
I'm thinking
do?
Sailor Moon, honestly.
I think Sailor Moon. I agree.
I'd go with All Might just for the simple fact that she has to power up, and he would probably attack her.
I would still discount that with the fact that we have Goku entering the fight in Ultra Instincts. Technically, he has to reach
But
state of mind.
But he's no.
that.
It's not the fact that she has to reach peak. She's already at peak.
But every
It's the
single one of
process of
her
her.
attacks takes.
Yes.
It's not like she just goes boom, punch, boom, key attack. It's.
But if she's
Think of
the thing, if she's in that god form, would it matter if she takes a hit?
This is the only thing. I said this before. I am not familiar with Sailor Cosmos because I haven't read through that manga and I haven't seen that show. So I was only taking this up to Sailor Moon Eternal because that is as familiar as I am with it. And
So are we doing this like a Gandalf the Grey thing since we're limiting it to that specific version?
I mean, even again, only because I assume even if she can bend time, reality, space, I would be willing to bet that she still has to do something in order to get off that attack. It's kind of like how certain wizards have to say their spell, or in order for just Harry Potter, for example, in order for them to get off their spell, they have to say words with it, right?
Or at least some do.
Or they have to
They just have to learn to not do it.
But
But there's proper wand motions with it too. Each spell actually has a proper wand motion. that
right,
goes with
so
it as well.
every single one of her attacks involves words and some sort of
choreographed dance.
yeah, like some sort of choreographed type spinning move before she can even actually perform. Very, very few times have they actually just cut all of that out. So if she doesn't have time to do that and All Might's just gonna go in for the attack while she's performing that, I don't know if she would be able to survive, because I don't know if she...
What's that durability level? Yeah.
We don't know the durability of the character at that point, and we're still, I'd say, up in the air on whether or not we're even using the character. If you're wanting to limit it that way because you specified Sailor Moon like I specified Gandalf the Grey, that's fine. I was just wondering how you wanted to do that.
Well, only because, peak form, her final form is Cosmos, but I don't know enough about those powers to be able to really argue one way or the other, and I still think
Actually,
that
let's get this question out of the way real quick, because I foresee a problem coming up in one of the later rounds. The Hulk is immortal, and that's not like a Deadpool thing where it's like, oh, he just heals faster, death doesn't let him die. He is functionally immortal in that he will die and then just a little bit later wake back up.
Yeah, but you killed him, so it still counts.
That's what I'm asking. Is that how we're going to do that? Because from the looks of it, Sailor Moon has the same thing where she's technically immortal. She can just kind of keep rebirthing. So, okay, the first death counts.
Yeah, even if you come back from it, first death counts. You still
Yeah,
lost.
just making sure. I wanted to get that out of the way right away. It's like, that's something
Yeah, like Mr. Immortal would be great in this because, yeah, he can't die, but he does actually die before he comes back.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm looking at gifs of Sailor Moon attacks, right? And they're taking at least 10 seconds to go through the dance and the charge up and everything. So,
I mean, how much of that is diegetic and how much of that is just fan service? That's all anime exclusive shit. That's
well,
not.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, it's a gift, and it's just kind of seeing that happen, you know?
I say, yeah, I've never actually read the manga on that one. I don't know if she actually does
Yeah,
the
I
dance
mean,
moves in the manga.
If we're... Well, they can't really...
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
Comic,
so does
but
she just...
If magic beats brute, then yeah, I'm gonna go Sailor Moon. Because I think she's more powerful when she's using her...
Magic fully and properly.
Yeah.
We could technically also make the argument that All Might, all of his signature attacks allow him to usually speak a full sentence before they actually go on.
For him to sit there and be like, "What the power in me?"
Exactly.
You know?
He can just punch really fast, but if he's wanting to do a lot of damage, he kind of gives a speech.
I don't know. Sailor Moon for me, then. That's my vote.
Thomas?
I'd love to pick All Might, and I would love to pick Sailor Moon, but my if I was to sit there and go into a fight, I would still pick All Might, just because All Might would probably wait for the opportunity just to go for it. He wouldn't need to. He wouldn't even need to say a long sentence. You can just punch her and she'd explode. So
Peter?
The problem is we're keeping the morality of the characters intact, but also still putting them in the death battle. And neither of these characters seem like someone who would immediately go for the kill right away.
Yeah, they wouldn't want to kill each other at all. Yes.
Yeah.
All Might just punches her and be like, "Just kill yourself. Just do it yourself. Don't make me do it. You do it."
Just that, but like, there's a good chance that he would. It's a limited win scenario thing, just like with Luke, just like with fucking. There's one win scenario. I would probably have to lean a little bit towards All Might.
Where's All Might for you?
It just depends on how quick they get into the fight, because All Might could immediately decimate her, or he could just be confused as to why she's doing a weird dance until he gets deleted from the universe.
All right, so here we go. This will be the deciding. Stephanie,
Yes.
how quickly does she attack? In your mind, how quickly would she attack?
Consider both the manga and the anime.
Yes, consider both.
Because like I said, I don't know if there's attack charge up sequence.
Because I'll tell you how quickly I think All Might would go for it.
Yeah, I mean,
I might end up debating you on the All Might one, because I think you're going to say he'd go pretty fast, and
No. I don't agree to that. No.
Because he'd let him fuck around for a little bit, right? That's
He
All
would-
Might.
He would probably let them fuck around. Yeah. So I'm thinking that in the end, it probably would be Sailor Moon because he would probably let her fuck around
You're
to
gonna be like,
find
"Yeah,
out.
show me how strong you are."
The
Yeah.
only fight I've ever seen All Might instantly go at was with All for One.
Yeah, All for One. The only reason he goes for All for One is because he knew the threat that was happening and he knew that he just had to go for it. But in this case, if they were just transported into this fucking thing and said fight to the death, they'd be like, what the fuck? And then all of a sudden, like, somebody would get hurt. You know, All Might would get shot with something and they'd be like, oh shit, this is for real. But then where's the context? You know, how would you know? How would you know that
'cause it's like, I mean,
morality?
when it comes down to it, like, she does make pretty bold choices. I mean, like, she goes for it when she has to.
I think it's Sailor Moon.
Well, that's not what he was necessarily asking. It wasn't how quick would she attack, but how quick are her.
How quick are her attack? Not very quick. Like I said.
Yeah, but I mean, is it like a multi-minute charge-up thing, or is it just like she
10
could maybe
seconds.
hit
We're
on
just going,
something
you know, like.
like 10 to 15 seconds.
and if it's that might go to All Might in a first round where they don't necessarily know what the fuck's up, and All Might's letting her fuck around.
Yeah, because I think that the initial attack wouldn't be her like most strongest attack. I think it would be like just a blast to try and see if she could hit him or to hurt him in some way, and then he would dodge it, realizing that there's a threat, and then he would probably go, "Hey, fuck, I gotta fucking kill this girl."
That is the other question too. How, because again, I'm not as familiar with Sailor Moon. How quickly does she usually go for her most powerful? Is she like a petulant child in a video game who unlocks a new attack and only ever uses that, or
like All Might, who has to talk his way through his most powerful attack.
yeah, he kind of has to
No,
work his way
no,
up? Like,
once she learns like that attack, like that's her go-to. Like very rarely does she like use a lesser attack.
once she
so
gets her
in
new
a
attack,
situation
she's
where
gone.
she has in like with this, she knows her most powerful attack. There's a good chance she would go with her most powerful attack right away.
Like right away.
Yeah.
Okay, then
that would be her
Sailor
one
Moon.
Then
move
that would
that
be
she would
Sailor Moon.
use the whole time. Yeah.
Yeah, then it would be Sailor Moon.
Oh, that sounds-
All Might would let her fuck around, and then he would find out.
Yeah, we would find out.
If it was a round 2 fight, All Might's probably winning. But
Yeah,
in a
because
round
All Might would know the threat and then be like, I ain't fucking with this.
But round 1, he's like, "Who is this crazy girl? Oh,
Yeah, what the
she's
fuck am I
shining
in
now.
here?
What's
Yeah.
going on here?
Yeah.
Young lady, your skirt's a little short for school
Yeah.
regulations."
So
Yeah.
in surprising upset number 2, we're saying Sailor Moon beats All Might.
with
Yeah.
us arguing against you for your own character.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were trying to take down Sailor Moon the whole time. I'm like, I don't think you realize how powerful Sailor Moon is.
Well, I'm not really familiar with All Might, so I was thinking him Or
a lot of
like
people
a
will
Goku type.
they equate him to like Goku or Superman. He is technically weaker than both of those characters.
Yeah.
Oh, well then, yeah.
He's the strongest
he's gonna
character
kick
in
his
his
ass.
universe, but his universe is a lot weaker than those.
Yeah.
Got it. Cool. Okay. Villain
But
side.
we
Next
haven't-
round. Omni-Man versus Grand Regent Thrang. I don't know who Grand
I don't
Regent
know.
Thrang
I'm
is.
not
I
sure
don't
who
know
Grand
who
Regent
Thrang
Thrang is, but Omni-Man wins.
Who's Grand Regent Thrang?
I have no fucking idea. Who is that?
Tom?
Or can we just say Omni-Man wins? Because it sounds like Omni-Man wins.
I don't know who Grand Regent Thrang is.
I didn't pick him. Omni-Man
Tom
is my choice.
McCall, villain, Grand Regent Thrag.
Oh,
Oh,
Thrag.
Grand Regent. Oh shit. Sorry.
Sorry, my bad. Totally
Oh!
read it wrong.
Don't we know who wins this fight?
Wait, who is he?
He's another Invincible character.
Yeah. yeah.
He's another Viltrumite.
Oh.
Yeah.
I actually didn't know Thrag.
Oh, who picked Omni-Man?
I did.
Oh man.
You
Wait,
basically,
no.
You basically
picked
picked the same universe.
I mean, I didn't do it on purpose. The bucket.
Because
rocks.
Grand Regent Thrag
is
is
the
the
main bad guy?
main bad guy in Omni-Man or
Yeah.
Invincible.
Oh, I
He's
consider.
Omni-Man with he's like the Russian version of Omni-Man. He's got like a dope ass like
Oh.
Yeah.
coat.
When he said
sweater
what
thing
it
going
was, I
on.
was like, "Who the fuck are you talking about?" He said Thrag. I was like, "Oh, Thrag, yeah."
Oh, actually, you know what? No. So this is a canon fight that happens.
yeah, it's an
I
actual
will-
fight.
Omni-Man loses. Like, we don't have to debate this one. He
Yeah.
lost that fight with his son backing him up and
Yes.
almost died. Without Invincible there, he's just gonna die.
So Omni-Man actually can lose to somebody. Thrag is real powerful. Shit.
I mean, by the end of the series, Invincible's way stronger than Omni-Man.
Well, of course,
He's
yes.
the most powerful Viltrumite.
Well, yes, because there's other reasons for that too. But
So then, by decision of it already happened,
Yeah.
Omni-Man versus Thrag. Thrag wins.
Yeah.
Cool.
I mean, that's just straight up. I mean, the fact that it
Yeah.
fell into the same universe is just
It's a canon fight that already happened. Yeah, so
that is
Omni-Man
Well-
lost that
and
fight.
Omni-Man
Real bad.
Moving on.
Well, that made
Back
it
to the
easy.
heroes.
Yeah,
Back to the
that's
heroes.
easy.
Mitra Surik
Mitra Surik.
versus the Doctor.
I'm pretty sure Mitra Surik wins that fight.
Mitra Surik wins that fight because the Doctor, even knowing that the rules of the battle is that you have to kill the other person,
Would
won't
refuse to
it.
do so. And she's just a Jedi and will kill him.
As well, her. I don't know. I guess. Well, still sort of depends on which version of the Doctor too.
I would argue not even that. I don't even think like War Doctor, the one most willing to kill, would be able to beat Mitra in a fight. Because it's not like they have any other resources outside of their standard artillery.
Sonic screwdriver. Turn that lightsaber.
The Sonic
right the fuck
screwdriver
off.
is not a weapon. She still has the force.
What the fuck? Pew, pew. What?
There
Pew,
would be a great
the
scene
fuck?
before the Doctor died. That would be fucking funny.
So Mitra.
I don't know. The
Mitra
problem is, the Doctor is the smartest being in the universe, basically. And they can think their way out of it, maybe. You don't know.
Could you imagine that she just goes, pew, and he goes, "Brrrt," and then it turns off. She goes like this, so he turns it back on.
I can see I can see 10 or 11 doing that. Honestly, that was the. Pew, what the
yeah, dead.
and yeah, I can definitely see 10 going. Oh no! Oh, that was not supposed to happen.
I'm sorry. I'm
I
so
thought this was off.
sorry.
I really thought it was off. Oh no!
I mean, that's a win scenario for the Doctor.
Yeah,
Hold
but
on.
it's one win scenario against a Jedi war veteran who's
Hey.
killed hundreds of Mandalorians.
But again, I will think you gotta throw out this. The doctor might be good enough to talk him into killing himself.
Mitra is the Exiles
Versus,
canonically.
I guess.
Well, I did grab the canon version of the character rather than the game one because it's
Okay.
dubious. Yeah. But yeah, no,
No.
the Exile's not that suicidal.
You don't think she looked down the fucking barrel of a lightsaber, wondering why it turned off when she
I'm
turned
pretty
it
sure
on?
that's a thing they expressly tell Jedi not to do in their training. Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Never, always treat a lightsaber like it is on. Never
Don't ever
point
do
the
that
end in a
shit.
direction
Don't
that you don't
ever
want to
do that
stab.
shit. Don't ever look down the barrel of a gun. Like fucking.
I'm just trying to equivalent it to you. Never look down the barrel of your lightsaber. Always treat your lightsaber like it is loaded.
Yeah.
So
Joke arguments are fun. She's probably gonna win that one.
I think I gotta give it to the Jedi with the active lightsaber. Yes.
Yeah. But I don't think Doctor Who belongs in death battle scenarios. It's just not his character.
Again, the problem is if he gets brought into a death battle scenario, the death battle is now over because he's figured out how to stop the people who started the death battle in the first place.
Exactly. Or he just accepts death and then regenerates into his next one.
There you go.
Do it, bitch! I dare you.
all right,
Takes
so
the fatal
Mitra-
wound just to
Mitra
regenerate
takes
later.
it. Next, villain side: Saruman versus Shang Tsung.
Saruman, probably.
That's the guy from
Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat, right?
Mortal Kombat.
Shang Tsung.
Yeah, most of his abilities come from manipulating someone more powerful than him or trying to steal their soul. And I just don't think, in this death battle scenario, he can't manipulate anyone. It's straightforward what they have to do. And stealing soul, I just don't think he'd be able to do that to Sauron.
Yeah, his soul is encased in the embodiment of a ring being held by
No, not Sauron. Saruman.
Oh, Saruman.
Oh, Saruman. I must have misheard you.
I thought you said Sauron too.
No, Saruman.
Yeah. Oh, fuck, that's actually a lot closer then.
That's
Actually, that's probably Shang Tsung.
That's actually a better fight.
Yeah. On the grounds that Saruman is an old man who has powers comparable to Gandalf.
More powerful than Gandalf.
More powerful, but comparable is what I was saying. Like,
He definitely beats the shit out of Gandalf with a stick and then flies him into the ceiling of his thing. And doesn't
well,
have
so
to
Shang
touch.
Tsung
the
is
thing
a
that's worth
fucking
remembering is
martial
Shang
artist.
Tsung is a martial artist and a sorcerer.
Yeah.
All right,
He
so,
has
yeah,
magic and fighting.
I don't
Yeah,
know,
and he can steal Saruman's magic from him.
Okay, like I said, if it was Sauron, Sauron wins. Saruman.
I misheard you. That's my bad.
Yeah, Saruman, I think, goes down. Because, yeah, he's got magic, but I don't think... And, yeah, he does have a little bit of fun stick work there. His bow staff skills are okay. But I think he still goes down to the actual trained martial artist who can also do magic.
Yeah, and probably steals his soul when he kills him. Which means he gets all of his abilities for the next death battle. Just throwing
Yeah,
that out.
there you go. Yeah.
Sweet.
Round 2, add a little asterisk.
Add a
Shang
little
Tsung
asterisk
has
for him. Yeah,
Saruman
I will
like
take that.
abilities.
I will take that.
I think you actually do
That's
have to
fair.
add the asterisk there.
I
yeah.
did. I added the asterisk. So Saruman versus Shang Tsung. Shang Tsung wins
With and
with Saruman's
No, you
powers.
got to do it right.
Saruman's powers
Shang
goes on.
Tsung wins.
Fatality. All right, last for the heroes.
All right, what we got?
Cloud Strife versus Rincewind the Non-Wizard.
I don't know who Rincewind the non-wizard is.
Neither do I.
Again,
He's a non-wizard. He's a normal dude.
But he's also sort of a wizard.
Wait, where's
he's
he
just
from?
a non-wizard.
Who is he?
He's from the Discworld novels.
Oh,
Terry
it sounds like
Pratchett.
that actually.
Yeah, that's what I put in there. He's not a wizard, but he did go to wizard college.
Cloud has a really big sword.
And again, I will say, I did pick a lot of my hero characters were definitely ones that just live for inexplicable reasons. And,
I mean,
Cloud,
and we made the joke earlier about Arthur, like somebody got so lucky that somebody got shot in the face. That has literally happened to Rincewind multiple times.
I mean,
That
Cloud,
he got so lucky that somebody else fell on their own sword or fell off a castle into the abyss on the edge of the disc world, kind of thing like that. He just,
Okay,
people
but
die
how
around
much
him
of
if
that
he needs them
is how much of that is like something actually happening in universe that he's unconsciously affecting versus just he's really lucky?
to. He is technically tied to the color of magic.
So it could technically be something that's being manipulated in the universe.
Yeah, he
but is he consciously manipulating it?
no.
Well, then,
Here's
But
the
he-
question.
Some
It-
subconscious manipulation that could still fuck up Cloud.
Here's the
100%.
Here's the biggest question. When he has the lucky things happening to him, is it like in the most extreme circumstances, like something is about to happen to him, so he's like it happens to turn in his favor?
Oh no, he's actually the most unlucky person ever. he gets into the worst situations and then lives through them to fall into the next unlucky situation.
Yes, but we're talking about like with the people who have been shot that were trying to hurt him, that kind of shit.
Yeah. Oh no, that's how it definitely happened. Like he ducks over somebody that was trying to get him, and they jump off at the edge of the planet, kind of thing like that.
Right, but
Like,
there's no planet to jump off the edge of.
He gets lucky at a lot of things, but I can't remember. I haven't read all the novels that have him in them. Is the problem? I think at some point in time he does actually learn how to use magic as well. So
I would have to say that if we're going to play his unconscious luck is involved here in a most extreme circumstance, Cloud would probably refuse to kill the guy and then be annihilated himself.
Cloud would
Or he trips, drops one of the most powerful materia he has, and Rincewind gets it.
Yeah.
I could easily see him chopping himself off with that cloud breaker. His own head off.
He'd pick it up and
Or
Just
if
misplace
it's
it.
like Advent Children Cloud, he tries to use the fusion blade and it just falls apart. He tries to move it.
I don't know. I'm gonna leave this up to everyone else. If we're taking
really-
luck
I
into
don't know
account.
enough about the character to argue for Rincewind.
If he's
I just know
still-
that Cloud's dealt with some pretty massive threats.
Yeah,
Right.
like I just feel like if he's just a dude that has an unlucky dude that sometimes his lucky things happen to him, and it's unclear whether he can actually either consciously or subconsciously manipulate it in his favor, Cloud wins. Cloud has a
It
big
sounds-
sword.
It kind of sounds like Black Cat's power set, so I guess another question would be, would Cloud beat Black Cat in a fight
Who's Black Cat?
from Spider-Man?
Not familiar.
She's
You
lucky.
failed me immediately.
She's the cat themed superhero. She's the only cat themed super. Well, not the only. She's the cat themed superhero in Marvel.
Yeah.
Well, anti-hero.
But it's the same. It's a similar
Catwoman.
power set. She's very lucky. So I would argue kind of like with Luke and Goku. There's a few win scenarios probably for Rincewind, but Cloud's probably got it overall.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Cloud, Cloud gives no
we said on-
fucks.
If we said on probability, Cloud would probably win.
Yeah.
Here we go.
All right, let's hear it.
Well, this is the specific instance I was talking about, and it gives a little bit more thing here. They both survive for rather complicated reasons by involving a spell supposedly left by the creator, which has lodged itself in Rincewind's mind, and due to the spell, the necessity of Rincewind's continued existence in order to save the world, and Rincewind becomes a recurring character in the series. So he basically can't die due to fate, because he's destined to die somewhere else.
This would be somewhere else.
Yeah, I don't think.
I think this would be it.
Well, he's not allowed to die until
Actually,
he
you know
saves
what?
the world.
Hold on. He's got a spell on him that's preventing him from dying unless it's in a very specific scenario.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This
That's
Then
is
he
not-
wins.
This is
Yeah,
Cloud's
he
gonna
win.
fuck up and kill himself
This is-
somehow.
This is not the scenario. Cloud gets unlucky and kills himself somehow.
Yeah. That arguably Rincewind just won the whole fucking tournament.
Arguably, yes, but
I don't think that would apply to this situation though.
I would agree. That would be a very fateful
'cause I
turn
guess-
for everybody.
Because he has been pulled out of his own universe, so his own universe's rules probably don't
Rules may
necessarily.
not apply.
Right.
The fate of his universe is not tied to him anymore because he's no longer tied to his universe. So I think he does die. Yes.
Or maybe that's where he's supposed to die, and that's what's been.
Maybe that's what
It's just the fulfillment of that. Like,
He will somehow get ripped out of his universe by some random people talking on another planet, and then dies cruelly by some dude with a really big sword.
Just for that power to be returned to its old universe.
Though
all right, so
I do forget, Rincewind does also have his luggage that is with him at all times.
Which does what?
It is basically, oh god, what's the,
A bag of holding.
no, it's basically, it's the evil treasure chests from Dungeons and Dragons.
a mimic.
A mimic. It's basically a mimic.
A
It has
mimic.
hundreds of legs, and it tries to eat and or attack anything that it notices ever, basically.
Mimics are enemies in the Final Fantasy universe. Cloud has killed them.
Cloud would kill him.
So Cloud can kill him too. So yeah, okay, Cloud went fine.
All right, Cloud.
Like, if he kept the spell, Rincewind would win, but he would also win the entire thing just now.
Like
Yeah.
I said, I don't want that to happen, so I think we discredit that. Because again, yeah, really his only power is luck.
his one power only applies to like that specific Like, at least most of these other people, if you were to, like, tear them out of their universe, like, they would still...
Hold their powers.
Yeah. Alright, last round of the evening. Who's Dr. Aphra?
Who's she fighting? Just tell me who she's fighting, and I'll tell you.
Sephiroth?
Sephiroth probably wins.
Who's Dr. Aphra?
She's Nathan Drake in space. That's what it is. Yeah.
She's
I mean,
Star Wars
she's
Nathan
got-
Drake.
She's got one very specific thing right now that kind of lets her simulate force powers, but it wouldn't be effective against that. Because it only really affects technology.
Ah,
Wait, was Sephiroth yours?
yeah.
Of course, Sephiroth is hers.
Yeah, what?
Just making sure.
I should have picked nothing but Final Fantasy VII characters so she wouldn't have fucking shit to pull from.
I mean,
I don't even know who Sephiroth is.
I'm so disappointed.
He's a guy with a
right
very
now.
long sword. Instead of big sword, he has a very long
Why do
sword.
you have such an obsession with guys with long swords over here?
She was so after was once I found out the death battle stuff, she was set to lose pretty much any of the fights. Her win scenarios would be too specific to really, and she often is only able to pull off wins through a lot of prep time or using her.
Yeah, she's a Batman type character. She needs prep time.
Yeah.
Damn it.
All right, so our lineup for next week: Goku versus Saitama, Deadpool versus Obi-Wan.
Shit,
The
we're gonna have to do
Flash-
3 parts to this fucking shit.
Yes. The Flash versus
Most likely,
Sailor
yes.
Moon, Mitra versus Cloud, and then we have Davros versus Homelander, Maestro Hope versus Jafar, Arthas Minthal,
Minethel.
Minethel,
The Lich King. Just say the
Versus-
Lich King.
The Lich King.
the Lich King versus Grand Regent Thrag, and Shang Tsung with Saruman's power versus Sephiroth. So,
This is gonna get out of hand. All
I
right.
love it. So,
If he
real
ever
quick,
to beat Sephiroth, that adds his powers too. And I really want that to happen.
We're gonna have to make an argument. We'll talk about it.
I kind of want Shang Tsung to win all of this by just stealing a bunch of other people's powers.
well, hey, it could possibly happen.
He's got
We'll
a solid
have to-
bracket to steal from.
We'll have to find out what happens. Real quick, let's run it down. Tom, you got an extra bit this week?
Nope.
Zachary, you got an extra bit this week?
I don't think we need it, but yeah, it's a real quick video. It's an old interview with John Williams, just talking about how he came up with the Star Wars theme and how he wrote it last after he wrote all the other music for Star Wars first.
Cool. I have two. My first one is
Oh, I wasn't even asked, and I had one.
you're
You're last. You're
next.
closing out
Calm
the show. She
down,
knew you had
Peter.
one.
God, I haven't got to you yet.
You always need to close out because you have like 6. I don't understand.
Sir, I have two. Calm
Every
down.
time you have multiple is what I'm saying. Like, you need to be the finale.
My first one is I saw this and immediately thought of Peter. So this is going to be Peter's new theme song. It's Jimmy Fallon and Paul Rudd performing a song about a teeny weeny beanie, and it's hilarious.
I don't think my beanie's small.
I mean, it just made me think of you. Shut up. And
Peter,
my
you got a big beanie. It's
and
okay.
my second one is
Not what I was
about a fan that is threatened to protest over Disney shutting down Splash Mountain, and it was like this whole big thing.
No one cares.
Peter,
About
What
the
you
fact that
got?
they protest.
The new trailer for the new Ninja Turtle got
woo! Did you send me a
like
link?
2 days ago. Yeah, I just sent it.
Perfect. I'll add it in. All right. 8-Bit Cat Show usually comes out on Fridays. Like, subscribe, do all the things. Thomas, where can they find us?
It's my turn.
It's your turn.
You can find us on all the social media platforms. We do a great job of making sure that you can find us on many different things.
Good job, Tom.
appreciate
Very
it.
good.
Facebook,
Great
Instagram.
Great specificity.
And until next time, my friends, geek out, be fabulous, and have fun!
Bye-bye.
That's kind of like a thing.
Do you ever just want to listen to the 8-Bit Cat Show on the go? You? Well, now you can! The 8-Bit Cat Show is available on all your favorite podcasting apps, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Audible. And Patreon, too!